people calling me for my lover. 1 to 9 for going home for St. Thomas Carnival this year. Hey, I go sleep on somebody's sofa or drive from somebody home. Yeah, I ain't missing it, I don't care. Man, I'm going home, back home, back home, I'm going home. I'm coming to wine and jump up on every girl. Tell them I'm coming home, back home, back home, I'm going home. I'm coming to get on back for the carnival. I don't care if I get fired. Can't get a flat tire. The house catch a fire. Tell them I'm coming home, I'm coming home. It could be a storm. I could lose my arm. I don't give a damn. Tell them I'm coming home, I'm coming home. I don't care what people say, no. St. Thomas have the best carnival in the world. That's why I am saying that I'm not missing. I'll be whining, I'll be grinding on somebody, girl. Whole lot party after party, we drinking a case of rum. Shots we drinking, cause the chase are done. Party from day till the sun go down. We party, we party. People flying to have a good time. Friends and family, they looking alive. Man and woman, they looking something to grind. Tell them, man, I'm going home, back home, back home, I'm going home. I'm coming to wine and jump up on every girl. Tell them I'm coming home, back home, back home, I'm going home. I'm coming to get on back for the carnival. I don't care if I get fired. Can't get a flat tire. The house catch a fire. Tell them I'm coming home, I'm coming home. It could be a storm. I could lose my arm. I don't give a damn. Tell them I'm coming home, I'm coming home.
Ah, there you go, man. I am not coming home. I am home. I'm in Twin Cities, St. Croix, my pride and joy. And you know what? Because we have a former queen with us. See how far I took it back. You're gonna want to hear Sonic. Sonica Vera is my co-host in the St. Thomas studio.
Okay.
And if she decides to say a word with you,
Okay.
Good
you
morning.
need those to hear.
Morning.
Such a pleasure.
Hi, I'm hearing
Okay,
her.
good. All right.
That's a surprise.
No, see. Okay, no. Okay, clearly you don't know what's happening today. We are joined with Senator Marise James.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Rashidi.
All right, now, Sonic, does that name ring a bell? I'm hearing you ringing bells over there.
It does ring a bell for me. It does. It does. It does.
Okay. So both of you have represented the Virgin Islands.
Yes, we have.
Miss Universe,
Right.
the highest level.
Right.
The dandadas of this thing, right? So we got you in the studio because about 2 weeks ago, you and I were honored by St. Mary's
Yes.
together.
Yes,
right?
we were. That's right.
So my conscience was bothering me because at one point I saw you at an event in Chabot. And
Wow.
And
you have a good memory. You went way back.
I don't. I only have a good memory for like good things. Like it can hardly be like a monumental experience. And we did a little interview that I never posted, right?
Oh.
And
Wow.
the reason for me not posting it was nothing other than I was just an army of one. You know what I mean? And I just didn't get to edit it. I didn't get to put it together. Since then, I've hired people to do different things, so things like that don't happen.
Right.
Right?
Right. I
Now-
understand. Yeah.
So, you might be the most interesting woman in all of the Virgin Islands, yo. Like, man, listen. Don't take this the wrong way, but they're like young people who can't relate, so you kind of got to talk to them so they could understand.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
You are Janelle Sarah before Janelle Sarah. You have done it all, man. So what I'm going to do is, but your humility might be your biggest detriment.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. So this is what I'm going to do.
Okay,
Right?
okay.
I'm going to let you tell me your accolades. And then I'm going to fill in all the things you're going to leave out. All right, go ahead. Take one.
Well, first of all, since we appeared at St. Mary's School, after I left, I said to someone, I didn't tell them that I was the valedictorian of St. Mary's, my St. Mary's School
Oh,
class.
wow.
I didn't even say that night. So
Well, let me tell you something. I was not the valedictorian of my class. All right,
So I was, now that you said that, I was like, I didn't even say that night. And then I went to George Washington University.
Right.
St. Joseph.
So smart.
St.
She
Joseph.
just didn't go to high school. I went straight from St. Mary's to George Washington.
As soon
Wow.
as I said it, I looked at you and I said, you know what, you and I went to St. Joseph also.
Yeah. I'm in the St. Joseph Hall of Fame. Are you in there too?
Yeah, which, by the way, I don't know if I am. I don't know, but I was impressed
Well,
when
we got to
you...
fix that.
I was impressed when you delivered your speech at the keynote to the graduating class.
Oh, thank you.
You were great. You were great.
So, okay. Next thing. So I'm just over there minding my business, getting in trouble because I didn't mention my aunt and I didn't mention the lovely Dr. Keisha Christian in my speech, but it was kind of like off thing. And I'm just sitting there minding my business.
Yeah.
And the great Marise James includes me in her speech up there. I'm like, oh, I've made it. I've made it in life. All right.
I went to St. Joseph, then I went to GW. And GW that year was a year when Title IX was allowing women to get scholarships.
Right.
So they put a poster up. They said, basketball players come in. We need female basketball players. And I said, well, I played basketball in high school.
Right.
Let me go. And went on a team, became a scholarship athlete. Division One.
Division One.
Was very, very, very proud of that because,
you know,
I said my two classmates, the late Clayton Richards and John Abramson, would actually come and attend games. They went to Clark and Howard, but anytime they were in the DC area, they would come. And so after that, I came home.
Okay.
Taught, and I think this is important. I taught physical
Well, I'm a basketball
science.
player, and I think this is important, so we can just put a pin in this right here. You're not going to mention, I do feel like you're in the George Washington Hall of Fame.
Oh, lad, you had to mention all of that
Right.
too. Okay, yes. I recently came
This
back.
is a thorough interview. I don't know what you think you came here to do. And
Rebounds. Yes.
listen, man, for 37 years, you
Yes.
had the record for the most rebounds at George Washington.
Yeah.
That's very
Yes.
cool.
Yes. Yes.
And it was only very recently
Yes.
broken.
Bye.
Your bio is disrespectful to Jonquil Jones, by the way, who's just listed as a player from the Bahamas that broke your record. But it is the Jonquil Jones who is one of the best
Yes.
players in the WNBA.
Yes. Yes. And I was really honored to meet her. Sydney and I went up, took a picture. We ended up in the Daily News. I can't remember the writer, and I really appreciated that he covered us. And you know, I didn't even know that I had a rebound record until
Wow.
my son Jordan.
Yeah.
No, what happened was when she broke the record, it was in the national news.
Of course it was.
Well, and so he saw my name,
Wow.
you know?
Wow.
He saw, apparently he has this thing where he can bring up my name if it shows up
Right.
anywhere in the wall.
Yeah, smart people do
You
that.
guys, you got your technology people.
Yeah.
And so he sent it to me and he said, you're in the news in the States. She broke your record. And I said, record held by Marise James
Yeah.
for 37 years or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Yeah, man.
So, and it was great meeting her.
Yeah.
Two island girls.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was really a lot of fun. And I'm honored, you know, that she's doing well. I feel as a proud Caribbean people, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, so
You keep in touch with her?
no,
Damn it.
I should have. I really should
I was
have.
trying to get some Liberty tickets out of you.
And came back home, and I ran for Miss Virgin Islands and won. And that year, though, it was in New York.
Okay.
Everybody else gets to go to these exotic places,
Right.
but you know.
Hey, Sonic, show off. Tell her where you went.
No, actually, my year was in Las Vegas, so we were in the
she was
United
like-
States too for Miss Universe.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So both of us ended up in the U.S.
Yeah,
Most
yeah,
people
yeah.
Go to Thailand, South Africa, different places all
Right.
over the place. So I did that, came back home, and I went to work with tourism.
Okay.
Became the first tourism careers coordinator for the VI.
And you got that position because you were so eloquently spoken in the
Yes.
Miss
Well,
Universe.
you know something, you know too much.
No, I mean, I feel like people need to know more about you.
Yeah, Miss Leona Bryan, she was in the audience as the tourism director, and contacted me after and said, listen, okay, you want Miss Universe, but when you come back home, Miss Virgin Islands, to go to Miss Universe, when you come back from Miss Universe, I want to hire you. And I did.
Well, that's
that
great.
Yeah, right. that was a really, yeah, it was.
2 days ago
wish
was
it always
National
happened.
Umbrella Day, Sonic.
Yeah, she elegant, graceful lady. I mean, and she, those of us, as I've gotten older, I come to appreciate when I meet people, and she has passed, and rest in peace, who, as we get older, we recognize young talent, and we boost them, encourage them, support them. And so then I decided to go to law school.
Okay.
Went to law school, came back home, and worked with Hadj and Sheen law firm, and really enjoyed doing that. And then the hurricane hit, went to work with SBA. I don't know what else to say. Yeah.
Do you speak Spanish?
I don't speak, but I understand a
You
good
understand
bit.
it?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Because my grandparents, my grandfather was from Culebra,
Right.
and came here.
Okay.
And so yeah,
All right,
so that's why the song is familiar to me.
Okay.
I should say.
All right. Now, you left out. You did some active duty.
Oh yes, I went.
You left out your whole military life.
Yeah,
Thank you for your service.
Lord.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Thank you for the assist, Sonic.
You are welcome. Okay, so I didn't know I was going to be put on the spot like that.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying it though. You know what? You're giving me a lot of endorphins here this morning, laughing with you.
Yeah.
And this is a really positive interview.
Oh, what you thought? I was bringing you to
No,
railroad
sometimes.
you?
No, not to railroad me. It's just that you're very engaging.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Sometimes you sit across from people and they're boring as hell.
Right. Okay. Well,
Not you.
All right. So no.
So
okay.
yeah, I joined the National Guard. I was a staff judge advocate, which is the military lawyer for the Virgin Islands National Guard, and I deployed to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba.
Yeah.
Now remember at that time, and still they're still there. They're detainees.
Right.
Yeah, from the war.
Yeah.
The war in Iraq. And so I ended up being the attorney, the judge advocate, who was the liaison with the detainees in the camps.
Yeah.
Some of that I can't talk about,
Right. Of course.
as you know, but that was an experience.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah, that was an experience.
All right. Now, okay. So you did that.
Came back home.
A JAG.
Yeah.
Came back home. Practiced law.
Right.
And
right.
then.
And then, well, right after I came out of the National Guard, Angel Dawson asked me to run with him as his lieutenant governor. We ran in the Democratic primary in 2018. We lost.
Right.
Moved on, supported Brian Roach as Democrats. And then Governor Brian offered me a position with him as policy advisor for it was policy advisor for 7. I got the most at that year, the most departments to oversee. Stayed for a year, and then
Well, to whom much is given, much is expected. They know you're capable.
You're so cool. Thank you, Rashidi. And because everybody else had 2, I had 7.
Right.
And then I went back into private practice doing real estate closings, and then COVID hit. And I continued to do the real estate closings, and then a young man dared me to, I always say this story because it's important. He dared me, Joel Mercado, said, I was talking about just things that were happening on the island, and he said, he said, well, why don't you do something about it, like running for the Senate?
Okay. All right. Again, this is why you are no good for yourself. You kind of left out the part where you were a TV host.
Oh, hell.
Yeah. I am here to help. All right? I'm gonna let you get your thoughts together over there.
Santa Cruz en doblete se llama. Tenemos un nuevo baile. ¿Qué me pasa, papá? Merengue, bachata y salsa para que sepas más. All my boricuas. action, come to the dance floor. Stroke up and baila, baby. Chocaban está bajando. Mira, ven a bailar. New sound of Chocabana. Deep, deep, baby, de bala. Santa Cruz Bacanala. La música que se suita. Calypso, merengue, rita. Take it into the streets. Chocaban tiene un baile. Chocaban tiene un baile. Chocaban tiene un baile. Somebody hits the pinata. Ven acá, arriba, ven acá, ahora, ven acá, arriba, ven acá, ahora, ven acá, arriba, ven acá, ahora, ven acá, arriba, ven acá. ¿Qué? Será de one comini chane, será de one torres hane, será de one push pam pam pam, será de one to well and dam, será de one comini chane, será de one torres hane, será de one push pam pam pam, será de one to well and jam. Trabaja, trabaja mami, trabaja. Trabaja, mami, trabaja, trabaja, mami, trabaja, trabaja, mami. Mira, mira, ven acá, ven acá, mira, mira, ven acá, ven a bailar conmigo. Now we got it in taca, mi amigos come to this party, bailando sin parar, a fiesta for one and all. Baila salsa, baila bachata, baila merengue. Chocaban tiene un baile. Chocaban tiene un baile. Chocaban tiene un baile. Somebody bring the baraca. Ven acá, arriba, ven acá, ahora ven acá.
All right, so we left off at topics. All right,
Yes.
host of topics at WTJX.
WTJX, I was a host at Topics. I really enjoyed that. I did the parades too.
Right, of course, yeah.
I did the parades during that time, and as the host at Topics, been a lot of really great Crucians, you know. Some of my best interviews were with people like Delta Dorsch and Eula de Rivera, you know. And I surely wish that I had those tapes. Yeah, that would have been beautiful right now. You know what I forgot to? Now you got me thinking. I opened a paralegal school called the Paralegal Institute.
Yeah.
And I am very, very proud of that because a number of my graduates work in huge corporations in the United States. Unfortunately,
Hit the bell sign. Okay, there you go. Thank you.
Come on now.
yeah, I'm very, very proud of that. I mean, one recently was in a magazine, talking about what a effective and knowledgeable, competent paralegal she was for this big corporation in the States with patents.
And she
copyrights.
started with you.
And she got her paralegal certificate from the Paralegal Institute.
That's dope.
They're like all over DC, New York, Los Angeles.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only thing though. You know, when we educate, sometimes they leave.
Right.
And, you know, they don't come back.
Yeah.
But I'm very proud of that. I was proud of being on Topics, of course. You know, I also had a short stint as legal counsel to Roy Snyder, Lester Snyder, Governor Snyder. And I enjoy working with him.
I'm sure he's fun. I'm sure you've heard a lot of things you can't share.
He was a lot of fun. I am not joking. And also very firm, no nonsense, blunt. You know, I get a little joke. We were in a meeting one time, right? And he was asking this guy in the conference room, sitting at a table. He was asking him some questions, and the man, you know, cabinet member couldn't answer. And Governor Snyder was rough, you know. He goes, "Listen, loosen that tie because I look like maybe that's stopping the air from getting through the brick. Because you're not answering me. Just answer my questions." Yeah. No nonsense.
Definitely.
No nonsense. I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, again, it's not humility. When you do like a lot of significant things, you kind of always on to the next. So you don't really have a chance to reflect on the great things that you've done because you got to do the next great thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You look forward.
Yeah. So you met with some ladies in the library for some time, and from those meetings evolved what became the Women's Coalition.
Yeah.
Come on, man. How do you leave that out?
Yeah.
Right around the corner.
You know, how that came about was Angelique Lang was helping me get ready for the Miss Virgin Islands contest, and she said there are a group of women meeting at the library. Come down, and I just started to attend those meetings. And you know, I'm gonna share this, but during that time, because of those meetings, I met the great Audre Lorde.
Okay.
And she inspired me. You know, I need to share this too, because recently I in an article I spoke about Senator Ruby Rouse.
Uh-huh.
When I was a little girl, my mom was the seamstress for Senator Ruby Rouse. So I ended up going to her house with her. And if you knew her too, another dynamic, powerful, no nonsense. Yeah. So I think when you have
and a woman of strength too.
You know, so you know, you when I reflect on my life, I see that I had role models.
Right.
I saw people that I could model myself after, and she was one of those people. And recently, I saw someone circulating a really nice video of her talking about being in the legislature. So I was very fortunate to do that. I was I'm trying to think of what else. I threw myself off with that reflection.
Right.
You making me reflect this morning. That's what is going on.
So now it's maybe your dad.
Yeah, Randall, Doc, James.
All right.
The great,
Right up the road from his office. How much time did you spend in that office growing up?
Not much. That's the one thing in my life that didn't happen for me. That happened for Neville and Datsun and Trevor. I did not.
Your brothers.
Yeah, my brothers. I did not. I had a few conversations with my father whenever I would go to the office, and there were like nuggets that I got from him that I hold dear to my heart. The thing about my father is that even though I didn't know him well, and I've said this before, I said it at his eulogy, we weren't able to have the father-daughter relationship that I would have wanted. Right. When he passed, and up to when I ran for the Senate this last time, and people tried to disparage him and the James name, I met more people who came up to me and still come up to me up to last night when I think about it, and told me a story about what my father did for them.
Right.
So my view of him, and you know, I think anyone who is in public life or is as dedicated as he was to his patients and his practice, you do sacrifice something.
Right.
And for me, I think my relationship with him was sacrificed because of that, but learning about him afterwards.
Right. Well, he was a guy who was into everything too.
I think that's what I inherited. I inherited that trait.
100%. He was an organist. He was a songwriter.
The horse racing.
And why the horse track is named after him?
Right.
Hopefully we could open that before we all die.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord, yeah. You know, computer programmer.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I say, if my father was alive, he probably would be like Elon Musk.
Right.
Because, or one of those Bill Gates, or, you know what I mean? Because his intelligence, his mind.
His mouth, too. He was another one who just said what he felt.
What he felt like. Yeah. But I always said, if you take him and put him in this time, he would be as great as those people, because he had begun to do computer programming and all that long before those guys probably were even in college, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, he was. So I was able to see that, and I think I've always appreciated the fact that he lives on, and there's a saying that says, you know, as long as somebody calls your name, you're still and talks about you and have memories of you, and even if they share it, you still live on.
Right.
And so up to last night, this man told me a story. That's interesting that you mentioned it, because up to last night, a man talked about him and talked exactly like how he would say he went to visit him as a medical doctor, and I won't go into it, but he said to him, "Man, just get out of my office, man. You need to find a new woman."
Yeah, that sounds like Doc. Yep.
You understand?
Yeah.
And I just laugh.
All right.
I just laugh.
Okay, so now in college,
Yeah.
got a degree in zoology. Like, why? How? What? Jesus Christ! You are making the rest
Is
of
that
us
real?
look bad. Like, how? I mean, I don't understand.
Well, I love science, and at that time I was thinking about following in my father's footsteps.
Okay.
I really was. You know, the interesting thing is he was the one who later on said to me, no. You know, I'm glad you became a doctor, a lawyer, because lawyers make more money. And I was like, no, where did you get that? If you happen to have one big personal injury case,
Right.
right? You do. But I said to him, no, that's not true. But he knew that it
Or
for
a
me,
few like Joel Holt. He just wrote
right,
another big one.
another big one, or Jack Dima, those guys, if you're a litigator. But I think for the one thing that I followed with him is that for him, it wasn't about earning the money. It was about serving the people.
Okay.
And I have always felt that deep inside. As a matter of fact, when I met Dr. Snyder for the first time, he said to me, I hope you ain't like your father, you know, because he could have been one of the richest men in St. Croix, but he was always giving away his services for free.
Right.
That is true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
He did a lot of that.
So now you've had some great examples. You
Yes.
mentioned Jessica Tutine Molina. Does the name Ingrid Hendricks Bermudez ring a bell?
Of course it does. Another woman, very strong, very focused. When I was a little girl, how I met her was she worked for my Aunt Sadie and Tita in the beauty shop.
Okay.
And by the way, this might not sound like a big accomplishment to you.
Oh boy, here we go.
However, I was a shampoo girl in my aunt's beauty
No,
shop.
that's pretty huge.
And-
We love things beauty.
Yeah.
you.
Sonic is a makeup artist.
Oh, okay. Look. here we go.
Yeah, come on now.
Yeah, man. And that's how I met Ingrid.
Yeah.
And again, she was an example to me of somebody who had a strong work ethic.
Right.
And what was just dedicated to her children, which again is a really good example of, you know, wanting the best for your children, which I did with mine.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about them in a minute.
Yeah. And so yeah, Ingrid was an inspiration to me.
Okay.
For sure.
Shout outs to Derek Bermudez one time. So okay, now if you are indeed Doc Data, and you are indeed Neville James' sister,
Yes.
you bet on horse racing.
No.
Oh no,
No.
something don't sound right.
No.
Something don't sound right.
No.
But
My sister does.
Okay, but while you're here, we got to find out about horse racing. I was told it's going to happen in November on St. Croix. I'm going to let you tell us how realistic that is. The look on your face and me, I'm gonna-
People, are you ready for a new style this year? Luna and Kitchi tell me Friday be away. The way these dancers moving like horses on a track, biting on the bridle with jockey loading back. Make this in a road match, give this dance a chance. You are the man to do this, make people jump and dance. Out the gate, can't stop me. I'm telling you, hostage is a new dance to make them jump. All and chew them on, that's what I'm doing. Loose me, let me jump up and shake my rump. They can cry and cry for more. We love Japan, we gon' make them dance for sure. Give me Japan, give me music night and day. We love Japan, hostage all the way. Give me Japan, that farale. Listen to me, call up this curfew so I could jump till morning. Daddy Farale, look, we ready to take over the city from now till Juve. Morning with the horse chip, horse chip, horse chip, horse chip. Rasa Tasha, why them a chip? Kichi and Luna, why them a chip? Biggest and Katafe, why them a chip? Mingle and Johnny, why them a chip?
All right, so when will the horses be chipping on the Randall Doc James racetrack again?
I have no idea.
So you don't believe November is a real thing?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh boy.
I don't know.
Womp,
I don't
womp,
know.
womp.
I will admit I don't know.
Womp, womp,
That's,
womp.
no, you know why? I actually try to keep a distance from that, to be honest with you.
Too passionate, too close to home.
Yeah. I'm so hurt, really, and disappointed in what has happened there. That I try not to even get close.
Okay. Well.
To be honest.
Well, then we're not going to mess up this interview with that. Then.
No. Let me let's turn the corner on that one.
All right.
Let's turn the corner on that one.
Well, I'm hopeful. I mean, I miss it.
No, I am hopeful.
Yeah.
I am hopeful, and anything that I can do, to make that happen, I will.
All right.
I will. I mean, I recently voted for the 5 million.
Okay.
You know, some people felt, oh well, why only 5 million? But you have to start, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere. And I figured, well, let's start, and then let's do what we need to do to put the money. As you know, I want to go there only because I think, I'll just say this, right? When we need to find money, we to find money.
Right.
Now, as a legislator, I am aware of that. Okay, when we need to, we will. And so let's find the money to fix the racetrack.
I mean, it's an industry.
The Doc James racetrack.
It's not a hobby.
That's
thing.
right. That's
and
right.
I think too many people look at it as like a hobby. And it's really an industry, a multi-million-dollar one.
It is.
And it could generate revenues in the Virgin Islands if we do it correctly on St. Croix. So,
And talk about the social aspects.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We right now, what do you do on the island?
Yeah.
You know? So, and this weekend would have been a big race.
Yeah, man.
Weekend.
Correct.
You know?
Correct.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully.
You and I going to be hopeful.
Yeah, man. Hopeful. Hopeful. All right. Now, quick question for you.
Uh-huh.
You don't have time to think about this one. Who was a better senator, you or Neville James?
Neville James.
Okay, why you say that?
Oh my God. He knows it inside. Well, in my opinion, he's brilliant.
He's one of the smartest guys I've ever
brilliant.
met.
He is.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He's brilliant. He knows the ins and outs. He gives me advice every once in a while. But you know, he lets me be myself as the Senator James, Marise James.
Right.
But no, he has it hands down, you know. And some of the things that are happening now, like, I just think he was one of the best presidents. From when I saw him up to now, I don't think a lot of the other people could compare to him. He just knows how to dissect an issue, find solutions. His historical
And he was
knowledge.
researched, well
oh,
researched. Yeah.
Man, yeah, very very
So
impressed.
that's what I liked about him as a senator, you as a senator, VLA as a senator,
Yeah.
Janelle. Like when they come in front of you, like you guys have done your homework.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
you're ready.
You know, Ruby Rouse said in that video that's circulating about reading, how important it is to read. And last term, I was in a housing committee meeting, and while I had read the testimony from this particular agency, and I said, this is the same testimony that they had done when they appeared before us. Exactly the same, you know, Rashidi. So I said to my staff, you sure this is that we got the right one? And they're like, yeah, that's the one that they sent. And I said, okay, pull up the last one and give both of them to me. And so when the testifier appeared in front of me, my colleagues were asking questions. And I was like, they're asking questions and they don't realize that this is exactly the same testimony?
Wow.
And at that point, I realized a lot of them don't read. I will put it right out there now. And so when it came my turn, I said, this is the same testimony you submitted. And the guy was like, he started to stumble. And I said, well, don't
Did you tell him he need to loosen up his tie because the oxygen ain't getting to his brain?
No, I was like, you could do this to other people. You could submit testimony to other people, but not to Marise James.
Right.
Because I read. I read. So anybody looking to run, because there are going to be a few seats open.
Including yours. Why
that's
aren't
right.
you running again?
Because Sydney told me not to run again.
Is this true? Why?
Well, you're going to have to interview Sydney about that.
I interviewed Sydney like 2 days ago or yesterday.
You know,
2 days ago, yeah.
because Sydney is my child. My
Sydney, your
daughter.
manager.
She's my manager. You got it. And she felt at this point in my life that I need to turn a page. and do something else.
So you know what's cool about that is that you know, most people, as successful as yourself,
Thank you.
ain't listening to nobody, much less your daughter. You know what I mean?
Oh no, I listen to her though.
Okay.
She's my
She's
manager.
brilliant too, man.
Yeah, thank you.
So okay, now you've done all this, right? We must start, and you left this out too.
What did I leave out?
Well, your humble beginnings. You started, you live in
Well, let me tell you,
the
I
American
would
Jackson,
not.
you live in Chabot.
Yeah, I would not be the basketball player that I was
Clearly.
at George Washington University, but for that basketball court in Chabot. I am telling you, I said, wow, look at how. That's why, it's important to give children, even in low income areas, activities to do.
Yeah.
Because what happened with me was my brother Stacy,
Yeah.
most people know him as X.
Yeah. Oh, he was a great basketball
He would be,
player.
right. And my grandmother would say, you need to go and call Stacy, tell him to get off the court, time to come home. And I would go over and you know how it's pickup games, right? And so somebody would say they're leaving, and I'm like, Stacy, we need to go, you need to go home, you need to come home. And he would just keep playing, and then they would say, we need another man.
Right.
And then there I was standing.
That other man was Marise James.
And that's how it started.
Yeah.
You see? And I was like, me? And then they were like, yeah, come, man. Just catch the ball. You know? And then, of course, it went from catching to dribbling to shooting.
To rebounding like a machine.
Well, I started rebounding against boys.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, Bill, as scrawny as my one of my childhood friends who's visiting from Chabot said last night, you were so scrawny as I was out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of had to outsmart him. You had to outthink him. You had to think about where this rebound is going to go. Kind of like the Dennis Rodman approach to rebounding.
Yeah. And I must say that then I saw you at Williams Delight making a donation.
Yeah.
And I said, you see, Rashidi, I have admired you for a long time, Rashidi.
Appreciate that.
And you never fail to disappoint.
By far, this is the law. I never fail to disappoint. Whoa.
Yeah, you don't.
That didn't come out right.
You never.
I never fail to disappoint. That means
No,
I disappoint all the
You
time.
never fail. You never fail.
Oh my God, Sonic!
No.
The
I said
interview's
wrong.
taking a turn.
Oh no. You never fail. You never fail. I meant to say you never fail to, and I said disappoint. I said the wrong word.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. And I'm a lawyer. Hold back. No, every single time I've seen you, I've always said, he's always, and I'm gonna use the reverse, right? He always does something that I don't know that he does. So when I went to Williams Delight,
That's how I feel about you.
when I went to Williams Delight and I saw you were donating balls, and you remember that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was like 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I saw, wow, Rashidi really is committed to the community. You're not a politician. Sometimes people don't even know what you're doing. And then, of course, the St. Joseph, speech, which I want to repeat this because I think it's important. The line that you said, when you said to the graduates, even if you don't come back to St. Croix, you need to give back to St. Croix. That was profound for me, sitting there. Because a lot of times people go brain drain, people leave, they don't come back. Well, we don't create the environment for them to come back.
In many instances.
There you go.
Right.
We don't create the and so when you said that, I say he's saying the right thing. He's saying exactly that. You might not come back, but give back to St. Croix.
Okay, so now I got a couple of questions about coming back.
Okay.
And Chabot.
Okay, all right.
So we did that interview that I never posted in Chabot because it was a reunion and we had the Tim Duncan Foundation put the baskets back in Chabot, whereas people were like, nobody don't live in there. What I'm fixing the court for? But the court is named after David Iceman Bermudez, and we felt it was appropriate to keep that legacy going.
Yeah, David.
So when you come back home with your brother X, Stacy, clearly way later than you guys should have been, because you were supposed to just go on a search and recovery mission. You were supposed to find him at the court, bring him back home. You end up playing basketball. What did Miss Espinosa say when you come in the house? Did y'all get in trouble?
Yeah, we got in trouble.
Mm.
You know, and you know, yeah. In them days too, you used to get some cuffs.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what cuff is, right? You got cuff. So yeah,
I got my fair share.
Yeah, but after a while, I think that she realized that as the older sister, I was there with him. And so in a sense, and we were right across the street. It wasn't as if it was very far because we lived in the first duplex going down towards Wapa. And so we were right there. So she could actually sit on the porch or come right out and see us on the basketball court. You know, and
So she wasn't that concerned.
No. And I was a responsible older sister.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And so eventually we would stay a little while and then now my mother wasn't the same though. I remember my mother coming over there and gave me some licks all the way home, right across the street because she wasn't in that.
Right.
Yeah, but my grandmother was more patient and tolerant, and so my mother was like, "You need to come home. You guys need to get ready." And so we get some licks from the court back to the house.
Okay, so let's bring it back to pageantry.
Okay.
How did that contribute to the person you became? Any or not so much? How do you feel when you look back?
Yeah, I don't know if it did for the other queens, but for me, when I went to the New York, they never called me by my name, Marise. They always said Miss Virgin Islands. And the other contestants were they were so competitive, but their competitiveness came from a deep desire to not disappoint their country.
Right.
I mean, no, Rashidi, when I tell you they were beyond to me it was almost too stressful at times to see how they wanted to win. But then I found out too, for a lot of them, it would change their lives in their country.
Right.
Because some of those prizes that they got, we don't get in the VI.
Right.
Okay. So during that time, for me, it instilled a greater love of the Virgin Islands.
Yeah.
And a deeper nationalism than I would have had I not gone.
So that's funny, right? Because I have a profound pride in the Virgin Islands.
Yeah.
And just like you said, I kind of got that from international competition in Puerto Rico, which was why I was so proud of the whole Bad Bunny moment.
Oh man,
too.
all of us. Yes.
But it was on a bus going to a game. I'm talking about Senior League Baseball, U.S. Virgin Islands. We're on a bus going with other teams.
Yeah.
And then we would pass like the flags. And I remember like the first time we passed the flags, like I don't remember which team it was. It might have been Venezuela. Somebody was like they stopped and like they just to pass the flags. And I was like, yo, when we pass, we gotta do the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what
Yes.
I mean? And I just realized like, yo, like they are more
Yes,
prideful than we are. And I
Right.
was like, no, we gotta do better.
Oh man, that was how it was. It was like all of a sudden, every day it was like Miss Virgin Islands, and we got at that year there were another thing that I became aware of then that I wasn't when I was at GW, but not to the extent was the political rivalry between some of the countries. During that time, Miss South Africa was a white woman. Okay?
Yeah.
And Miss oh man, the country I can't remember the name, but it was another African country. Transkei. Transkei? That's correct. Transkei? No.
Never heard of it.
I'm gonna look it up. She was black. And so she was a really good friend of mine. And she, during that time, she was always saying to me that it was wrong that Miss South Africa at the time was white and not black.
Right.
And it's close to Namibia. Look it up. Because Miss Namibia was also white.
Research staff, look that up.
Yeah. And so also there was conflict between Miss Ireland and the Miss England, the UK, because again, I spelled it right. See, Sydney had never,
I've never heard of
okay.
it. Me neither.
Yeah, Transkei. Small place.
Never heard of it, but I knew you were right somehow. Okay.
So, I suddenly became more aware of the political dynamics of even a Miss Universe pageant,
Right.
because of how these women were. Miss Israel, oh man, listen,
I imagine.
and the Arab,
Yeah.
countries, all of that. I suddenly became, So for me, it was more than just representing the Virgin Islands. Is what was understanding also who we were, because then you had the other Caribbean islands that were independent.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
We're not. We're still not. We're still a territory, colonial. And all of that just came into play during the time that I was there in New York.
Yeah. So you got some enlightenment. Sonic, did you get a similar enlightenment in your experiences?
Well, I definitely can relate. In fact, my experience with it is I like pageantry for the glitz, the glamour, the entertainment part of it. I actually liked being called Miss Virgin Islands. I thought it was actually really cool. But if you get a deeper surface level of who you hanging around, then they get to know who you are as a person. But that what reminds you that you're representing more than yourself, because you're literally Miss Virgin Islands, no one else, the whole time that you're there. And it is a business and it can get political, and there are some countries that invest in more than others, so they always have that spotlight and that space to make sure that their people and where they're from is fully represented and to the best and to the top. But
and my year, Miss British Virgin Islands contacted Ebony and Jet to talk about racism. So we ended up in
the spotlight.
That also happened.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of things.
There was a lot that year. Oh man.
But I would even imagine in your time, like when I played college ball, like I experienced racism in Indiana.
Right.
But you were in a whole different time, so you must have had a little bit of that in 1972.
Of course. No, not 72. 72, I was still here, small.
Okay.
You're making me too old now.
Sorry.
Yeah.
1982?
80. No, you got too far. 75 to 79 was when I was at GW.
Right.
And yes, I did.
Right.
And I was the only black one.
Right. So
there you go.
That's another thing. So, okay, it's 9:59 in the morning. Our folks over in St. Thomas on KISS 96.1 FM, they are going to be joined with the Mahnin Cook-Up. Sister B and Brother Shanaka. We are going to conclude our conversation on the Vivid Streaming app, and of course, here with the lovely, talented, the most interesting woman in the Virgin Islands, Marise James. All right, now, so you got your political feet wet with Luz.
That's right.
Somewhat.
That's exactly right.
Huh?
I went to work for Luz.
Yeah.
I went to work for DPNR, and then I went to work for Luz.
DPNR.
In 1992.
Yeah.
No, in 1992, that's when my father died, and Luz ran that year. He won in November, and so I went to work with him in January 93.
Yeah. I
went to work for Luz at the Senate. So, and at that time, again, people here apparently people really don't know me. And this is kind of interesting.
That's why we're doing this.
Yeah. And so one of the senators went on the floor and said some craziness about me with my children, and I was like,
whoa.
But she was wrong. She didn't know that. She wanted to talk about somebody else, but she decided to talk about Marise James. And I was like, no, you have the wrong. I went to her and I let her know. No, you're talking about the wrong person, because I don't have these children that you think I have.
All right.
They're too small. They're in my grandmother's house. My grandmother takes care of them. But she was trying to pull Luz down at the time, because people do that.
Right.
And so she tried a thing by attacking me as his cousin, which was wrong. But people do that, But I just straighten them out.
Of course you do.
I don't
So
play.
that's the dynamic of who you are. Like there is that stern side. There's this eloquent, nice, humble. But then you can still remind folks, I come from Shabbat.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right. So,
yes. I'm glad you said that.
You were a Girl Scout.
Yes, man,
Oh my
Rashidi,
God.
stop.
Listen, man.
Stop.
Is there anything
Stop.
that you haven't done? It doesn't make sense.
She is every woman.
Yeah, man. She's every woman. It's all in she. All right. Anything she wants done, baby. I gotta mention Abdul Ali just because we don't do that enough. Yeah.
I was on Abdul Ali's radio show
Yeah.
for a few years.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
you're bringing back a lot of memories.
Abdul is my guy, man.
Yes,
and what
yes.
he's done in this community for all these years
yes.
should be mentioned a little more
Yes,
as well.
that's right.
So that's why I brought you in today, because I
Yeah.
don't feel like people have any idea the magnitude of the things you have done.
Thank you.
Not just for yourself, but for your family. Had your daughter on a couple of days ago with the RT Park doing
Yeah.
amazing things. She's always eloquent.
She is, yes.
And your children are very successful.
Yes, thank you.
And
Thank
in
you.
all that you have done and accomplished, somehow found a way to be a great parent.
Thank you.
How?
Thank you. Well, I think you always model the generation before you, and I modeled my grandmother. I spoke about it at St. Mary's. My parents, St. Mary's too, instilled in us, you and I, values that our family had, and I think you pass it on to your children, and your children then, in fact, then continue. I mean, when we talk about generational wealth, we also should talk about the generational passage of values, because values also contribute to wealth, even if it means living a quality life, a better life, you know. And I think that's what has happened with me. And the generations before us. I mean, your daddy, he was sitting there. And I remember when I spoke about being in the place and his face lit up. Those things influence us as children, and we pass them on to children like you. Johnny passed it on to you. I pass it
100%.
on to my children.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to wrap up with a couple of things.
Okay.
Commission on Youth, also a part of that,
Yes.
which needs to come back in some
Yes,
semblance.
it needs
So
to.
we're going to bring back in the neighborhood basketball. We've been talking about it for a little while. That was the initial reasons for putting in these baskets.
Okay.
You about to have, you're going to find something to do, but you're
I
about to
will.
retire from the set.
Retire to something
I'm going
else.
to tap into you to help me with that.
Oh, definitely. Definitely, Rashidi. Definitely.
In the classroom, you were a teacher.
yes. Yes.
Juanita Garin.
Well, and Elena Christian, John Woodson,
Yeah.
and St. Croix Central High School.
Yeah. Moot court coach.
Coach.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
Yeah,
yes.
you've done it all.
I did that
Did
too.
you do anything in music?
No.
Okay, you didn't get that from Pops.
No, didn't do anything.
organ
no,
playing?
No,
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 okay.
no. When I was a little girl, I took some lessons, but it didn't continue.
Didn't work out.
No.
Okay,
no.
cool. All right, well, listen, man. That is the
Wow.
only thing that didn't work out for you, because everything else has been amazingly flawless.
Thank you.
Big respect to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's truly like as I got to know you a little more, and the Jonquil Jones thing did it for me. I was like, what? You know, just sometimes we don't appreciate the greatness around us. So I was like, man, I gotta get Marise on. You know what I mean?
Thank you, Rashidi.
Big respect to you, and thank you to management who set that up. And that's going to do it for us. We had a
you.
whole lot of fun. We got to run. Our job is done. Do not forget Valentine's Day in Jos Van Dyke, the legend, the icon, Tanya Stevens, live in concert in Jos Van Dyke. Native Son starts your journey, gets you from St. Croix to St. Thomas. Once you get to St. Thomas, into Island Ferry will get you to Jos Van Dyke and bring you back after the concert. So if you want to come to Act Fair from St. Thomas to St. Croix, the Native Son will do it. NativeSonFerry.co. That is C-O, not com. NativeSonFerry.co to get you between Thomas and Croix, whether you're coming for Act Fair or you're starting your journey to go to see the icon Tanya Stevens alongside the inaugural winner of X Factor, Melanie Amaro. It's going to be a great show. And I'm the MC. All right, so check that out. Also got to say shout outs to Seabourn Airlines, not just travel, a VI experience. Also got to say shout out to Fly the Whale, getting you to Bad Bunny's home, because I feel like everybody's going to want to go there within the next 6 months. All right, so Fly the Whale will get you to Puerto Rico, and that's going to do it for us. And when it comes to music from the VI, Marisa and I are very similar. We can't play nothing, but I can press a button.
Angela. Michelle.
So that's the neighborhood pharmacy
Alma.
one time for the one time.
Fresh.